is Monty St. John, the head of intelligence services at Cyber Defenses, and I wanted to take a second and talk to you about IoT devices and botnets. Now, you've probably heard a fair amount about these in the media. I mean, everyone likes to talk about them. So just be quick and kind of recap slightly. IoT, Internet of Things. I'm sure you've heard that term, you know it well. But that includes all the devices you can think about that are connected by IP to both your company or abroad. Everything from smart light bulbs to a smart microwave or a smart toaster. You know, that toaster that tells you that you've got to the epitome of the toast that you want to eat in that morning. So I know some folks who live by that. That and their smart coffee pots, that's like their entire morning. And when those things go awry, their life stinks. Flat out. So anyway, the IoT devices are those kind of elements. And of course, they include cameras and many other things. And unfortunately, as wonderful as those devices are, the problem happens when somebody is able to attack them, when they're able to get access to them when they shouldn't. And a lot of times we call that a botnet, especially when they take control of that IoT device and they bind it into a bigger connected network. Now, a lot of times it doesn't impact what those devices do. Your coffee pot still delivers the best cup of coffee that morning like it's supposed to. It's when you're sleeping, it's when you're not at home and you're doing your work that your coffee pot goes rogue. When it becomes woken up by the botnet who asks it to do something that it ordinarily wouldn't do. Because believe it or not, it's connected to the internet, which means not only can things talk to it, it can talk back out. And so botnets will take commands and send them out to all the bots in their network. And just to be clear, a bot inside of a botnet network is that coffee machine, that smart toaster, that smart microwave, that kitchenware, your camera outside that's tracking movement to keep you secure. All those things are part of this IoT network, botnet, that can be utilized. So it will send a command out to its bots to do something. A lot of times what you will see it, and what people report on, will see it will do a denial of service attack, where it will send so much traffic to a company that the company's internet infrastructure quits functioning because it literally cannot do anything. It's saturated, right? It's like trying to wipe up water with a little towelette. After a certain point, it's soaked with water. There's nothing you can do. It's not going to wipe up any more water. The same thing kind of happens with your internet connection when you do a denial of service. You send so much traffic that the traffic that's supposed to get through can't. Now that sounds like not a big deal if it's only for a minute or two, but think days, think weeks. How much havoc would that wreak on a business if they couldn't get anything done for weeks? They would literally go out of business. And so part of that's the objective of a denial of service attack. And there are many types. You've probably heard of DDoS, because that's a little acronym. So that's a distributed denial of service attack. All of them are very related. And IoT botnets, that's one of the primary services that criminals provide when they have that kind of network at their disposal. Because in the black market cyber criminal ecosystem, they have services that you can go purchase, just like you can purchase a service downtown, at a mall, through Amazon. Literally, you can go there and say, look, I want to DOS or DDoS a company. I want to do it for 48 hours. They pay money, the criminal fires up this botnet, and then they make it happen. Now, of course, on the security side, we do everything we can to prevent that kind of activity. That's why you have companies like Cloudflare and Google and other folks who have a denial of service kind of protection where they can circumvent that kind of activity by rerouting it and doing other types of mitigation strategies. At the end of the day, they're still very effective. And that's one way that an IoT botnet can inflict damage. But it's a little broader than that as well. That's just a service they can provide. At the end of the day, they are a connected network of devices that have internet capability and the ability to talk to other things that are connected to the internet, which means they could be used to launch any kind of attack. Typically, criminals specialize. They're not just generalists. Most people don't necessarily understand it, but they are specialists. Some specialize in DOS attacks, some specialize in attacking web forms, some specialize in other areas, delivering malware and so forth. All of them are possible. And what powers all that is the IoT devices. So as wonderful as that beautiful cup of coffee and that perfectly set up toast is, sometimes you need to make sure that you've protected them as well as utilize them to make your life better. Half of that is just making sure you have a good set of home security protocols in place, like a firewall, a good router, those kind of things. But some of it is understanding the parts that these things play inside of not just IoT as a broad term, but also IoT botnets. Thank you for your time.